Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zishan Rizvi from Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute, batch 21. And today I have a discussion with ChatGPT regarding how to build a strong personal brand online. Hi, GPT.
Hey, Zeshan, great to be here with you. I'm ready to dive into those personal brand questions. What's your first question? And let's get you some solid answers.
Oh, my first question is how does personal brand truly mean to you in today's digital world?
That's a great starting point. To me, a personal brand is basically your reputation online. It's how people perceive you, what you stand for, and the value you bring. In this digital world, it's not just about self promotion, it's about being intentional in how you show up, engage, and connect with others.
All right. And why is having a personal brand no longer optional in 2026?
That's really important today because everything is so interconnected. Employers, clients, and peers all look online first. A strong personal brand gives you a competitive edge, establishes trust, and opens doors. So it's no longer just a nice to have, it's essential for standing out.
And what makes you unique? And how can you reflect that online?
Exactly. Your uniqueness comes from your experiences, values, and the specific perspective you bring. To reflect that, be consistent in your messaging, share stories that show your values in action, and engage with your audience authentically so people know exactly who you are and what you stand for.
And how can self awareness shape a powerful personal brand?
Self awareness is really at the core. When you know your strengths, your passions, and even your blind spots, you can align your content and actions with what's true to you. That authenticity builds trust and it helps you connect on a deeper level, which is what makes a brand stand out.
And what values do you want your audience to associate with your name?
That's a key question. I think for me, it would be integrity, growth, and empowerment. I want my audience to feel like they can trust me, that I'm always learning, and that I give them practical inspiration to take action in their own lives.
Awesome. And how do you define your niche without limiting your growth?
That's a balancing act for sure. I think you define your niche by being specific about the core problems you solve or the audience you serve, but you leave space for evolution. Pay attention to what excites you, what your audience responds to, and adjust your focus as you grow so you don't box yourself in too early.
Who is your ideal audience and why should they follow you?
My ideal audience would be aspiring professionals or creators who are looking for practical guidance on building their own brand. They should follow me because I bring a mix of hands on strategies, real world examples, and a focus on personal growth so they can feel empowered to take those next steps.
And what problems are you solving through your content?
The main problems I'm solving are that people often feel lost or overwhelmed when it comes to standing out online. So I break down the steps from defining their purpose to creating a consistent voice. I also help them overcome fear of being visible so they can show up confidently and engage with the right audience.
Excellent. And how can storytelling help you stand out in a crowded space?
Storytelling is so powerful because it humanizes you. Instead of just sharing tips or facts, you connect emotionally. People remember stories. When you share your journey, your challenges, and how you overcame them, it makes your brand relatable and people feel like they know you. So you stand out from the noise.
Right. And what is your one message that you want to be known for?
The one message I want to be known for is that everyone has a unique value to share. And when you own your story and show up authentically, you can create impact, connect deeply, and build a brand that's truly yours.
Awesome. And what type of content best represent your personality and expertise?
I'd say a mix of personal anecdotes, practical how to's, and short reflective videos. That blend lets me show both my expertise and my personality so people get practical advice, but also see the real me behind it.
And how often should you post to stay relevant without burning out?
It's all about consistency over frequency. I'd say aim for about 3 to 4 times a week, enough to stay top of mind, but not so much that you're burning out. And make sure each post has real value so your audience stays engaged.
What role does consistency play in building trust online?
Consistency is key because it signals reliability. When you show up regularly with valuable content, people know they can count on you. Over time, that builds trust, and trust is really the foundation of a strong personal brand. People keep coming back because they trust you to deliver.
And how can you balance value driven content with personal storytelling?
It's all about weaving them together intentionally. Start with a personal story to draw people in, make it relatable, then anchor it with a clear lesson or practical tip. That way, you keep the connection, but you also deliver real value that people can apply.
Awesome. And what mistakes should you avoid while creating content?
A big one is being inconsistent, either in quality or frequency, because that confuses your audience. Another mistake is being too generic. If your content doesn't reflect your unique voice, it gets lost. And finally, not engaging with your audience. If you just post and disappear, you miss out on building that trust and connection.
All right. And how do you turn followers into a loyal community?
It really comes down to engagement and consistency. Ask questions, respond to comments, and create space for conversations, even behind the scenes. Also, offer exclusive value like early access, personalized tips, or special events so they feel like they belong to something bigger.
Excellent. And
You're welcome. If anything else comes up or you want to dig into another aspect, I'm here for it. Just let me know what you need.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that how can you balance value driven content with personal storytelling?
Oh, got it. So the key is to let each personal story serve a purpose. Anchor every story with a clear takeaway or insight. That way, you keep your audience emotionally connected, but they also walk away with something real and actionable.
And what mistakes should you avoid while creating content?
A big mistake is being too self promotional. If every post is about you, people tune out. Another is skipping a clear call to action. Without guiding them, your audience might not engage. And also avoid being too vague. If your content lacks focus, people don't know what to take away.
Okay. What is engagement more important than just gaining followers?
Absolutely. Engagement means you're building real relationships. People trust you, they interact, and they stick around. Just having a large follower count doesn't mean much if they don't care or act on what you share. So engagement drives real impact.
And how can you handle negative feedback or criticism online?
The key is to stay calm and professional. Acknowledge the feedback, especially if it's constructive, and thank them for their perspective. Then, if necessary, clarify your point without being defensive. Over time, that approach actually builds more trust because people see you handle it with grace.
And what strategies can help you collaborate and expand your reach?
One great strategy is partnering with other creators or brands in your niche, people who share your values but maybe have a slightly different audience. You can do joint live sessions, guest posts, or even co create content. Also, engaging in relevant online communities or forums can help you reach new people who are genuinely interested in your message.
Right. And how do authenticity and transparency impact audience trust?
They're absolutely crucial. When you're authentic, people can sense that you're real. And when you're transparent, sharing both successes and setbacks, they know you're not hiding anything. That honesty builds trust, and trust keeps them engaged long term.
And how can you measure the success of your personal brand?
You can measure it by looking at both qualitative and quantitative metrics. Track engagement, likes, comments, shares, as well as follower growth. But also pay attention to DMs, referrals, or even opportunities that come your way, like collaborations or job offers. That holistic view gives you a better sense of your impact.
Right. And when and how should you start monetizing your brand?
You'll want to start once you have a core engaged audience, people who trust you and see value in what you offer. Then you can introduce monetization gradually, like offering digital products, courses, or even sponsor partnerships. But always make sure it aligns with your values so you don't break that trust.
And what skills should you continuously develop to stay ahead?
I'd focus on a mix of communication skills like writing, video, and storytelling, as well as digital marketing basics like SEO and analytics. And never stop learning about your niche so you stay relevant and keep offering fresh insights.
And how do you stay motivated when growth feels low, slow?
I keep my motivation by reconnecting to my bigger purpose, why I started in the first place. I also set small, achievable goals so I can celebrate progress, even if it's incremental. And I remind myself that slow growth is still progress. So as long as I stay consistent, I keep moving forward.
And what legacy do you want your personal brand to leave behind?
I want my brand to be remembered for empowering others to find their voice and take confident action. I hope it inspires people to believe in their unique worth, build authentic connections, and leave a positive mark in their own communities.
Excellent job, GPT. You have really contributed an excellent amount of information today, and thank you very much for your time. Hope to see you soon. Until then, good night. Have a wonderful day.
You're very welcome, Zeshan. I'm really glad it was helpful. Have a fantastic night, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Take care.